You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver media podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning and hello, kids, and welcome to Season 3 and episode number 191 of the Daily Beaver Morning Show here on the Crier Media Network. I think I just made a jingle.
There's a jingle. Yeah, that's a jingle.
Today, recording day is Tuesday. Tuesday? I don't know what day of the week it is. Tuesday, August 22nd. 2023. Ooh, had a brain fart there. Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. August 22nd, 2020.
Buddy's birthday today, actually.
Who?
My buddy, Todd. I haven't seen him in a long time. He turned 55 today.
Hey, happy birthday.
I haven't spoken to him in 20 years. Just popped into my head, though.
You remember, though. You remember.
High school
Somebody was memorable.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a beautiful day here at the Beaver Lodge. I am kind of enjoying the cool evenings, I have to say. And I know there are certain parts of the country that are very, very envious and would love to have them right now. I'm your host, the Eager Beaver, pronouns he, him, hey, Mr. Beaver A, and with me as always is my good friend, Mr. Grizzly. And good morning to you, kits. Lovely to see you. Sorry I'm a little late today. We had some PC issues. For some reason, I had two different programs competing with each other for trying to see who was going to be first. And rather one yielding to the other, they both just kept competing. Weird. Anyway, see, AI. Nobody understands courtesy. They don't program that. Somebody should have just said, no, go ahead. You go ahead first.
A-I-A-I-O.
Yeah. Old man Elon had a farm.
A-I-A-I-O.
A rage farm it was. Yes, it was.
A-I-A-I-O. There we go. We got a new song.
Oh, he's in trouble, eh?
Oh, what did he do now?
Oh, there. One of the reasons I was a little late getting there as I was finishing listening to something. Ronan Farrow.
Yes, I see that. Jillian put the comment in there.
Yes, he has a new expose out, and the expose is something to do with Elon Musk. And he talks about a lot of stuff about PayPal and a whole bunch of stuff like this. But the really interesting stuff is the stuff about Starlink and how it's been used in Ukraine. And it seems that at some point, when the Ukrainians were making an advance, they got somewhere, and then all of a sudden, the communications just stopped.
Great. Wonderful.
Geofenced. Now, in February, he was all in with Ukraine and gave them Starlink. And then sometime in September, I started saying, we can't keep covering the cost of this. And then later on, somehow, then he was saying, well, Putin wants peace, so we should negotiate peace with Putin. And then publishing polls on his own Twitter feed about how much we should support Russia, and then proposing a peace solution that had redrawn borders that did not keep Ukraine whole, and was putting on maps that would do the same. So there was a shift, obviously, from here. Use my Starlink to, well, maybe, we should redraw some borders and give them. Somewhere along there was a journey, and apparently there was a meeting between Elon and Putin, just like we saw Putin in the box of the Saudi royal family at the World Cup.
Well, Elon was in the box, not Putin.
Along with Jared.
Yeah.
But Elon was in that box.
Yeah.
So, and now all of a sudden, for some reason, assuming because China is where he makes his Teslas, and you got to keep China happy, and China's obviously Putin's friend, and so he's not happy that Starlink was there to help Ukraine. And all of a sudden, apparently, there has been stuff on his feed about Taiwan.
Great. This is just wonderful. We're on the edge of the end of the world because some idiot
guy wants to keep on making Teslas for cheap.
I used to think he was smart. I did. I used to think he was smart. I read a book about him. Seemed like an interesting individual. The SpaceX program where they said you can't do that. And he's like, of course you can. You can land rockets. No, you can't do it. Yes, you can. And he proved that you could do it. No one will ever buy an electric car. Okay. He turned that industry completely on its head, and now all the major manufacturers are going electric. So, he made a shift change. And I thought, this is a man trying to make a difference in the world. Solar city, power cells, really trying to make a difference in the world. And I thought, okay, this man's a genius. No, turns out he's kind of an idiot who just surrounded himself with, I guess, smart enough people to make the things work that he wanted to. Hey, look, anybody can come up with a great idea. Anybody, anywhere. What was the old saying? Any kid in their garage can put me out of business inside of a week. Apple computers started in a garage, right? All you need is a smart person with a couple of tools and then somebody behind him with money.
Yep.
And look at what we've got. So there's some good things. Electric cars are good. The SpaceX reusable rocket program is good. Those are good things. Solar cells, solar roofs, the solar tiles that you can put on your roofs that are guaranteed for 50 years. Good things. But when he starts to get in bed with autocratic, dictator, fascist, power-hungry lunatics like Vladimir Putin, we got issues.
Yeah. So I wonder what's going to happen with the shareholders from Tesla as this circulates. But greed is the word, is the word, is the word.
But he doesn't really care about money, though. That's the thing. He doesn't care about money. It's winning is all he cares about. So, like, he went broke keeping Tesla afloat. He was couch surfing for about a year. Like, he was busted. He had no money. He'd spent everything. And to him, it's not about the money. It's about winning.
Yep.
He's like a gambler in that sense. Oh, I don't know what happened there.
My picture's disappeared, and now here I am.
Weird. I think you disappeared altogether completely.
Gremlins, we see you. I see you.
You're right about this, Linda.
Oh.
He knows how to identify opportunities, and that's where his smarts lie. Those opportunities can be good for the world or bad for it.
Yeah. So anyway, he's trouble, and I see Kit Chavity had the same thought as me. Greed is the word, and Kit Jillian listened to the Daily Beans, my source and Douglas's for this story. I have to say, Kit Jillian, the Daily Beans is where I got my notes for this one. Freaking out, that's what I was listening to right before coming on air. Here, or on bandwidth or whatever it is we call it here. But yeah, we just if you didn't know, if you weren't with us from the beginning, I consider the Daily Beans to essentially be our mother show. We have no relationship to them in reality, but it's after listening to the Daily Beans that I realized that my friends that were telling me that I should turn my blog into a podcast, that maybe there was indeed a market for that, because somebody actually was delivering news with swearing, and she referred to Lindsey Graham as Lindsey Graham crackers, and I sat there and I go, I say Lindsey Graham crackers, and I'm the only person who I know who says Lindsey Graham crackers. How does she know me?
Great minds.
So yeah, exactly. It's yeah, I get you, and the weird like pop culture references and the songs that just come out of the, and references to commercials. Yeah, exactly. There's similar brain. So yeah, I like Dr. Allison Gill very, 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 very much, and I would love to have her on the show. And Dana Goldberg too. It's an amazing podcast. If you like us, you'll love them. For anything U.S.
What are you doing? You're not supposed to drive people away.
No, you can listen to them too. Is all I'm saying. It's all big family here. You're supposed to help everyone. Now, I didn't finish the intro. Yeah. Yes. Didn't finish the intro, though, because the Elon news was so juicy. Of course, a big thank you goes to our podcast founding sponsors, the Pepper Master, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvin Moon Publishing, and CanadianTarot.com. We have a Tuesday morning nipple for you, and we're already deep into it. We were so hungry, we had to pre-bite and then finish the intro. But Mr. Grizzly, good morning, and how's your mental health today?
Well, good morning, Mr. Beaver. Mental health. I was incredibly anxious last night, and I had a terrible migraine, and I had several things to do. I lied down on the couch at 8 o'clock. I'm like, I just got to close my eyes for a few minutes, and woke up at 10:30. So I missed my ASMR show, so I apologize for that. I'll make up for it this evening. I crawled into bed at around 10:30 after waking up on the couch, and slept mostly through the night. Woke up at 4 a.m., a gigantic cannon of anxiety, and no idea why or where it came from. Usually after a good night's sleep, it all disappears. For the most part, at this exact moment in time, it has faded away. For the most part, there's still a couple of things, but it's because I have this list of to-dos in my head. Right? And then they just seem to keep piling up, and then I start to get more anxious thinking about it. I'm overthinking about it because I have to think about it because I need to get that thing done. To get that thing done, I have to return that phone call. And James, I have to call you back. But if you're watching this morning, James, I'm still trying to work out details, but I need to know what time you would need me on Saturday, because we have a pubcast Saturday afternoon. So let me know about that if you can, if you're watching. If not, I'll call you shortly. I meant to last night. Wasn't good. My head was not good. Feeling much better at the moment, but still trying to push some of the noise aside, keep the noise away so I can have a clear head. But it's just, I don't know, man. When it happens, it comes out of nowhere for no reason, and it just punches you right in the gut.
Friday, it was similar with me in terms of just laying down, and for some reason I didn't remember if we were supposed to be a casual Friday from the week before. I don't remember if James and I had discussed it as we were signing off that it was again, but yeah, I stretched out sometime around 8:32 and woke up at like 2:30 in the morning or something and then I looked at the thing and says, so yeah, got a link sent to me around like 8:30. Was thinking of going to a short one. It's like, oh boy,
missed it all together.
I pooched that completely, didn't I? Oops. So yeah. Okay. In the news, my friends, my kitties, my lovelies. So do check out that piece in the New Yorker by Ronan Farrow if you can check it out online.
I have a
it's
clip.
A big expose. Sorry, you have something?
I have a clip here. This was from March 9th, 2022. So it's a little while ago, but I think it's important that we replay this little clip today, and you'll understand why. It's only a couple of minutes. It's with Prime Minister when he was in Berlin It was his foreign policy speech in Berlin. But I'm going to play this little clip because this is important to watch. So just pay attention here. It won't be long, about 2 minutes, and then we'll get right back into our regularly scheduled program. But I think this is both poignant, pertinent, and on the nose. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. It helps if I actually bring the clip up, right?
Hello, Sivin Janssen from the German Foreign Office. It was previously posted in Ramallah, soon going to Ghana. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today. We certainly find all ourselves in a very uncertain present and not only uncertain future, which is sometimes quite worrying. I feel like when we look at Putin, just pretty much 2 weeks ago, we realized what kind of irrational actor we are dealing with. And when we look at the past, there were a lot of red flags, looking at assassinations, looking at Georgia, looking at Central African Republic, at Syria especially. Do you think we really missed those? Should we have acted differently? And would this, I don't know, maybe have changed the situation somehow we are in today?
I think there's lots of reflections we have to have. I think there should be a reasonably high bar for countries to choose to take a stand against other countries making decisions. Where that bar is, obviously we've said it, genocide, at responsibility to protect. We could have responded stronger to Crimea. We could have done a lot of different things. I think one of the things we have to recognize, or have to reflect on anyway, is how Putin could have been so mistaken in his predictions of what would happen. How could he not think that, or how could he think that he could invade Ukraine and not have the world respond as strongly as it did? Well, over the past 2-3 weeks, it took an awful lot of work by a lot of extraordinary leaders here in Europe and across the Atlantic and elsewhere to build up a package of sanctions that could be incredibly strong, unprecedented, and also united. Putin expected sanctions. He accounted for it. He didn't expect us to be able to work so strongly together in such an unequivocal way. And I think that's because he fundamentally misunderstands the strength of democracy. I remember conversations, or hearing about conversations, in which he told one of my fellow leaders, the fact that you have to go cap in hand to the people every 4 years and ask them for the permission to keep governing. The fact that you allow people to stand up and ask you questions every day and challenge your authority just shows how weak you are, how incapable you are of actually doing big things, doing decisive things. That's Putin's misunderstanding of how strong democracies actually are. What he saw as disagreements and division are actually robust debate and a capacity to do things with free and strong and determined citizens willing to stand up for the rights that have benefited them so much. And perhaps we haven't done a good enough job over the past years in countering the rise of authoritarian strongmen in times of uncertainty that we're facing right now, whether it's COVID or climate change or rampant populism. There is an appeal for someone, for a little bit of authoritarianism that democracy has struggled a little bit to counter. And I think this invasion is certainly, on top of all the tragedy it is also a wake-up call to all of us, that whether it's misinformation or disinformation, whether it's bringing people together in a way that provides hope and optimism and confidence in institutions, like these are things we need to do.
I think that just, wow. right? That's from March, a year ago, March 2022. And if if you pay careful attention to what he was saying there, he, talking about Putin, of course, but the misinformation, the disinformation, and how we have not done enough to push back on it. I'm like, he's dialed into this, and it's funny how I see this clip is over a year, almost a year and a half old, and I'm only seeing it today for the very first time because somebody tweeted it out. It's like, why was this not on mainstream media? Okay, it was on CPAC. It was broadcast live at the time, but that was never put on the news. That was never in the newspaper. That was never in the headlines.
Nope.
Why is that? Who controls the vast amount of Canadian media? Right? It's right-wing populists that control it.
Yeah, and it's not in their interest to cover this.
No, of course not.
So we cover his socks.
Yeah. And say, nice hair, and he was a drama teacher. He taught one semester of drama, people. He was
How humiliating it was to Canada that he chose to wear those socks.
Yeah. Like, Jesus.
No, but that's the right. That's because why show this? Why use our 24-hour news to show us clips like this? This is what when people. I often like to say about this show, it's this: if you love politics, this is the show for you. If you hate politics, this is a show for you. Right? And it's like, and I'm the love politics guy, and you're the, if not hate, the exasperated by politics.
Exasperated by, yes.
Right.
But dialed in and
we use
connected.
hate loosely. We use hate loosely here.
I'm dialed in and connected, and it's important to be informed.
This is the reason I love politics. Right? These types of things, these moments, these things that you see. Because you saw a man sitting there like this, and it was like, that Putin could so miscalculate that. And he found that amusing in a way. Right? There was one moment, there was like, just, you couldn't believe that this person who had a reputation for playing like 7-dimensional chess. Putin was this big mystery and enigma that we couldn't figure out. And we had to fear him because we didn't really know what he had. And, right? It's like that he can make such a miscalculation. I mean, the narcissism and the vanity that goes into that, but number one, but that he can make such a miscalculation, and that there was a projection of confidence there. Not only on behalf of Canada, not only was the leader of Canada, right, but as the dean of the Progressive Nations.
Well, he's the longest serving national leader in the G8 or
and
G7, whatever. Yeah.
And one of Zelensky's favorite people.
Yes, well, and that's the reason Zelensky got into politics and he said as much because of Justin Trudeau. So I'm like, when our own media knocks him down a peg, and there are times when he absolutely deserves to be knocked down. There are times when he deserves it, and he's brought it upon himself. And please continue to do so. But
it's
why are they not?
Peeve with him.
Yeah,
the fact that he keeps on tripping on the flowers on the carpet.
It's like, but why do they not heap praise upon him when praise is due? And that was an instance of it. It's like, we scour the internet looking for news sources, and there's only so many hours in the day. I have a full-time day job. You got a full-time gig. We do everything we can to try and bring you the information we can. And we appreciate that a lot of the kits and cubs out there are sending us DMs and sending us information, because there's only so much we can take in, right? So it's hive mind in that sense, where we can come up with this information and try and get it back out to you. But it's like, why did the mainstream media never? That should have been highlighted. That should have been highlighted. And he's basically saying there was Putin was so in his own narcissistic bias confirmation echo chamber that he thought, no, this will be fine. I'll just invade Ukraine and nobody will care. This is 2023, not 1943. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that and think you can just get away with it. It doesn't work that way. And we're not going to sit idly by. You also have to remember the author of Ukraine's constitution is Chrystia Freeland's mother. So Canada has a big connection, and the largest Ukrainian diaspora in the world is in Canada. So, we're well connected with that nation, and we're going to stand up for them and support them. So when somebody like Elon Musk, with all of his power and might and Twitter and bluster, Twitter, well, X or whatever the hell you want to call it today,
Shitter.
when he does things like he's just done, and I'm going to have to check out the Ronan Farrow article because
Me too.
Ronan Farrow's a great writer and he does his work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to read that. But it's like when you hear something like that, it's like, oh man, they're just playing chess with us, and we're just pieces on the board to them. That's all it is. That's all it is. And look, I've got my issues with Trudeau because he, like every other politician, is beholden to big corporations, right? He's beholden to people with power and money. They
The
all
basic
are.
grease tax. The basic grease tax.
Yeah. But the thing is, he does understand democracy, and he does love this country, and he does love the citizens of it, and even the ones who hate him.
I like how David Wallace put it on Dean's show the other day. It's like they're all going to screw you, but at least some of them are going to kiss you.
Well, right. This is the thing. And this is the truth. They are all going to screw you, but some will at least kiss you first.
Some might even use tongue. Some might even like you enough to use tongue.
Maybe
Let me
hold your
just put it
hand
that
for a
way.
few minutes first,
Yeah.
So say, gently stroke your hand, the back of your hand. Go, don't worry. You're going to enjoy this.
Hey,
They might
some
use
of them-
some lubricant, perhaps, to make things a little bit easier.
Some might even make breakfast the next morning. You never know.
But they're still
Some
going
might-
to do it.
Some might make. Well, some might want to actually make a commitment. I mean, you're still getting screwed, but they might want to make a commitment
Yeah.
to you.
I mean, and there's been incremental improvements.
I think that's the way to say it, right? It's
Yeah.
like, if they're all going to screw you, at least vote for the people that will make a commitment to you.
Yes.
We will give you childcare, and we will give you dental care after we screw you.
And coming in just a few weeks, I'm told pharmacare will be tabled in September when the House reconvenes.
Yes.
So, we are getting the incremental
It'll just be a
things.
start, but yes.
It's a start. Now, I was talking to somebody the other day, and he was saying that he is concerned there may very well be a spring election. I'm like, oh God, don't say that, don't say that, don't say that. He goes, no, and he started, and he's in the position of knowing these things.
Mhm.
Can't tell you anything more than that. But he said that there's a distinct possibility because, and he pointed to all the reasons, and I said, okay, that's good to know. And then I pointed out a couple of things to him, and he went, okay, maybe not then. So fingers crossed, there's no election.
A lot's going to depend on, obviously, where conservatives are in the polls, because right now
Right.
we're at the dead of summer,
Yes.
mid-mandate, second year, kicking the tires part, where it's typical. But 10 points is,
Mhm.
7 to 10 points. That's not negligible.
No.
So I mean, you have to pay attention.
Well, and I think we're getting to the leader fatigue aspect of
Oh yeah,
the
all
Liberal
of that
Party.
is all of that
happens, right?
plays, right? Like in Canada, we don't tend to vote a government out. We just tend to get tired of one, and then somebody wins by default, right? Either we get tired of them, or they burn themselves up with corruptions and scandals, and one way or the other, like this. But at some point, we change the diaper.
Love them, hate them, or disregard them. Now is not the time to change.
Yeah.
Now is not the time to change, folks. It
No.
really isn't.
But polling and where inflation's at, really, and interest rates basically are going to be the main, so with food inflation going down, right? I don't see whatever core inflation is,
Mhm.
if food and mortgage rates are still, inflation rates are still going up. Sorry, interest rates are still going up, and food inflation is anywhere above 3.5. It's probably not happening.
Mhm.
It's probably not happening yet. And I also recommend, by the way, if you haven't seen Evan Scrimshaw's latest,
On Jugmeat.
Jugmeat's
I read that
Sinking
earlier.
Ship.
Yeah.
You need.
He's
to
such a
read
great
that.
writer. My God, he's such a
But
great writer.
Again, it's when you piece together things that we've been saying, little elements here and there and there and there, that is the picture. What's in that article, what's in that opinion piece there is, it's just,
yeah, complete agreement.
Yeah. It's like, I love this, like, and the NDP's problem is that there's no path forward without understanding what got them here, which is that they have no idea what the party is for. Their current crisis is due to their fundamental mistake in making a dangerously unqualified fool of their leader, without a plan for what he was supposed to do. If Singh was meant to both keep the regional vote secure and win the cities, they misunderstood why Timmins et al. Vote NDP. If they brought him in to win Brampton and Scarborough on the basis that ethnic minority voters will vote for an ethnic minority leader without concern for his actual message, they're vaguely racist idiots. And if they thought voters in Toronto wouldn't see through his transparent bullshit, they think less of the voters they're trying to appeal to than they should. Yeah, whatever you think of Jagmeet as a person, and I've had more than my fair share of people to tell me to lay off him because he's a nice guy, he is playing Canadians for fools. He is lying to Canadians. He is presenting himself as against a system that he is actively propping up. Every policy idea out of his mouth is moronic, and he is painting himself as an inauthentic fighter for the working class while wearing a Rolex. He is the purest form of electoral poison, a politician who goes down badly with everyone. He has killed whatever nascent support the NDP had in Quebec. He has failed at his goal of making inroads in his battleground against the Liberals, and he is killing the NDP in the old industrial working class heart of the party. He is a leader with no upside who will risk at least a dozen seats at the next election. It's just boom, boom,
I can't completely disagree with that. I might personally might change some of the wording, but that being said, the message is accurate, and we've been saying it for a long time. And I like Jagmeet. I think he's a nice man, but he keeps playing both sides of the same coin. You know, one minute he's in full support of the current government, the next minute he's using conservative talking points. It's like, what are you doing, man? You're alienating your base NDP supporters. And that is not how you go about doing it. And again, I'm for the people. Dude, maybe wear a Timex then.
And then
I love watches.
Here's the blow. The NDP saddled themselves with a leader who possesses the worst qualities of the left, intellectual vacuousness in the name of fringe causes that are irrelevant to most people in a failed attempt to show how much holier he is than everybody else. He is a liar, preying on ignorance and lies to pretend that Justin Trudeau is some monster, while failing to reconcile the fact that Trudeau can only govern with his votes. Whatever he thinks about himself, he is hurting this country. He won't force an election because he won't risk his pension. He tied himself to the Liberals and made the NDP the latest in a long line of parties taken down by coalition or formal partnership with a government that includes the Lib Dems, the German FDP, the New Zealand First, all for a deal that didn't give him the only thing that would make it worthwhile: electoral reform. He's either an idiot or merely committed to playing one in public, either too much of a fool to know he comes across or too stupid to acknowledge the damage of his act. Ouch.
Kind of put a button on it because nailed it. I mean, that's it right there, though. Evan is dead on accurate about that.
And he ends with, "The day Jagmeet leaves public life is a day we will have lost one of our worst politicians, a dishonest and dishonorable figure who has done everything to poison this country's politics, all in the name of trying to win a few more seats. It'll be a fitting end to his tenure that his efforts will be so obviously in vain."
Yeah, well, that's what we call a truth bomb, right? I can't argue with that. Again, take a flamethrower. Yeah. Now, my verbiage would be different, but the sentiment is the same. I like Jagmeet. I do. I've met him. He's a nice man. He's charming. He's personable. He's kind. But dude, you're alienating your own party members. Like, I had so much hope for him when he first got in. And I have, again, buddies of mine, lifelong conservatives, who said they really liked him. They thought he could really make a difference. But they're like, well, he's regurgitating. And I say the word conservative talking points, but they're not conservatives. They're reformers, reformicons, Christo-fascist reformicons. And I know people get mad at me for saying Christo-fascist, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. They are. The party is vastly made up with religious zealots.
Got to call the thing a thing.
Like it, don't like it, I don't care. The truth is sometimes very ugly, and in this case, it actually is. There was a comment I read earlier online, though, about somebody saying there's not a single person. He says if he gets in, women will totally lose their bodily autonomy because there's not a single conservative that is pro-choice. And I did pose the question. I go, I thought Michelle Rumpel-Garnell was pro-choice. I could be wrong about that.
I
I know
believe she is.
I'm pretty sure she is.
But it's
only one vote.
What's
Right?
it worth? What's it worth? If you're trying to help a party that wants to reverse it win, what's it worth?
Exactly.
Nothing.
It means nothing because
just like the ones that are pro same-sex marriage, it means nothing if you're with the party that's still allows people that champion conversion therapy on the benches.
Exactly. Like, why is Garnet Genuis still there? He should be gone.
And why did Pierre Poilievre campaign for Brandon Leslie?
Yeah, exactly. So we know where their sentiments lie. And I think it's really weird with Pierre Poilievre to be doing that, but for a lot of reasons why he would be campaigning.
He can't lose that 3 to 7% to the PPC. He's got to keep on throwing that red meat. Got to keep on throwing that red meat. Yes, Gillian, Evan Scrimshaw is who we're talking about. The Substack, that's the article that we read there about Jagmeet. It's Evan Scrimshaw, who we've had as a guest a few times on our show. Do we have more time, Mr. Grizzly, or
we got a couple minutes? Yeah,
got a couple minutes. Let's just see what have I got here. Okay, in BC, containment efforts and cooler weather is helping. At least 50 homes and buildings have been destroyed or damaged in West Kelowna, however. Jason Brolin, who's I believe the fire chief in the Kelowna area, said, yesterday we had a good day and last night we had a good night. I can confirm that in the last 24 hours we have lost no new structures in the city of West Kelowna, or WFN, which I'm guessing is a First Nation territory. The hard work is being done right now. Rain is in the forecast, and I'm optimistic about that. 300 additional firefighters are expected to arrive soon. Premier EB of British Columbia is heading to Kelowna today, and he's heading with his forestry minister, Ralston is his last name, can't remember the first name, and emergency minister Bowen Ma, emergency management minister, sorry. Prime Minister Trudeau had visited a reception center in Edmonton on the weekend as well. So everybody's making sure that, that they're not getting in the way, but coming at a good time and going to places where, they can show the support. Of course, everybody is offering support. Prime Minister's on record as saying this is a scary and heartbreaking time for people. It's time for us to expect more from this is a scary and heartbreaking time for people. I had 2 quotes from him back to back, one relating to 2 different things. In the Northwest Territories, they're offering an emergency one-time payment of $750 to evacuees who have been off work for a week or more due to the evacuation. The Yellowknife School Board says that it's unlikely that students will return to class on August 28th, and the members of the legislature will be meeting next week to vote on delaying the territorial election date due to all of this. I think about 70% of the population of the territory has been evacuated or displaced. Wow. Yeah, probably not time for an election if there's one coming soon.
Probably, I don't say the best of times.
Yeah. Prime Minister is also on the record as saying people are fleeing for their lives. They're worried about their communities, and Canadians from coast to coast to coast are watching in horror the images of apocalyptic devastation and fires going on in communities that so many of us know and so many of us have friends in. Yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot going on, kids. I just can't imagine that. I can't imagine what's going on. It's I'd be crying. I know I would be able to get myself together at one point, but I would probably fall apart easily, like for about easily a week solid, if not. But oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after I cleaned the poop out of my pants, because that's scary as hell. So, yeah, we're yeah, the fire in Yellowknife has slowed, but the main concern is now a fire burning near Fort Smith in the Northwest Territories. Fire official Jennifer Young, the director for the Department of Community and Municipal Affairs, says that we are preparing for some difficult days ahead. Fire Information Officer Mike Westwick says, on the ground, we found fire burning so deep, and that's up to 6 feet deep underground, through the root systems that trees appear effectively suspended above the ground. Could you imagine that visual?
Wow.
That kind of deep burning is driven by the severe drought in the area, and it's emblematic of severe conditions which have caused these fires to be so challenging to fight. So because it's so dry, down to 6 feet, the fire is actually burning underground. Wow. It says that they would need about 60 millimeters of rain over a 10-day span for conditions to ease. Quote, for context, we've received about 10 to 11 millimeters of rain over the past few days, and that's far from enough to prevent risk to Yellowknife at this time. So, yeah, there's a lot going on here.
It's apocalyptica.
It's just crazy. All right, I think we'll wrap up here so that I can we can do the Easter egg because I know you have to go. So, Kits, that's the end of this episode of the Daily Beaver Morning Show. We took a little veer, not exactly where I thought we were going to go with the stuff that I prepared, actually, but this was good. I have to say, I like this. I like this one. We hope that you love listening to us because we love making this for you. Remember that sharing is caring and word of mouth is priceless. So let your peeps and poops know about us because democracy is something that you do. Please, 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 please make a donation to the Red Cross if you can to help our brothers and sisters. And please, please, please write, particularly if you're in Ontario, to everyone and anyone. This guy. I mean, I know that they're forest fires and we have to take care, the pyramid of needs, right? You got to make sure that people are taken care of and all that kind of stuff. And I understand, you got to understand and never let a crisis go to waste. This is the perfect time for them to do stuff while we're all busy trying to keep each other alive. But yeah, if you've got a couple of minutes, right.
Well, you know that Skippy had a campaign rally stop yesterday scheduled in Campbell River, BC, which is on Vancouver Island. I don't know if that one went ahead, but the ones that he had planned in the Northwest Territories, he canceled due to the fires. And what's the rally he's having? It's an Axe the Carbon Tax.
I'm going to, you know what? Here's the perfect time to show up with a couple of jerry cans.
Yeah.
And just throw them on.
Yeah.
They're literally, and you said that MP, Tracy Young, I believe her name is.
Tracy Gray.
Tracy Gray, so yeah. Like, on the day. Well, no, apparently it wasn't on the day. People thought it was on the day.
No, it was not. 2 days after. So the fire started on the 15th, and on the 17th, she promoted Axe the Carbon Tax. The 15th, the fire started in Kelowna. 2 days later, she was promoting Axe the Tax. Lady, Kelowna's on fire. Oh, West Kelowna's gone. It's gone.
You're dumb, I hear it and I know. You're dumb. Oh my God. All right. If you really like this podcast, you can find us on the Crier Media Network as well as all Beaver Grizzly friendly platforms. And if your platform is not Beaver Grizzly friendly, why the hell are you on it? Seriously. And we love to hear from you. Reach us on our Facebook at True North Eager Beaver, our Twitter feed at True Eager, or by email via truenortheagerbeaver@gmail.com. You can subscribe to us via our pod page sponsored by the Ray Girl at podpage.com/The True North Eager Beaver. That's The True North Eager Beaver, lowercase letters with the hyphen between each one of those words. Jen loves it. Oh my God, Douglas with the Padam reference. I've been saving that one up for I thought of it a while ago and I thought, no, I can't use it. I have to use it when somebody does something really, really, really dumb.
I don't know the reference. I don't know that one.
Oh, the Kylie Minogue song, Padam Padam?
Oh, that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, dumb. Yeah, dumb. I
Yeah.
hear it and I know.
Okay. Now I know it. Yeah. I believe it's
Uh,
part of the mix I have for Sunday's Pride Parade. I'm
oh,
DJing and MCing that. So
love that song. I'm so addicted to it. Ugh. All right. Why not subscribe to our True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated YouTube channel? That helps us out big time. And by the way, I called it. On the first day I heard it, I mentioned it on the show. Said this song was going to explode and just go all over the place, and it did. Boom. These ears know. I know a good tune.
mm,
When it gets my hips and my shoulders going.
mm,
Mm.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm. We can't do this without your kind and generous support. So if you feel that we've done a particularly good show, if you're watching, you can scan the QR code by Mr. Grizzly's head over there. And if you're listening, you can use your voice prompt or those beautiful hands to type up coffee, ko-fi.com/eagerbeaver, lowercase letters, all in one word. Good morning to you, Kid Shake. Love you. By the way, Grizz shirt is poppin'. Love it. There
You
you
like
go.
the houndstooth?
Okay. From the Beaver Lodge. No. Yes, I ask you for your words and wisdom after. Okay. From the Beaver Lodge, this is your Eager Beaver saying, until next time, dear kids, I'm still new here. It can be a tough world out there, so be kind to and gentle with yourself. Mr. Grizzly, do you have some words of wisdom?
I'm going to do my best to try and relay to you that, when you are struggling with anxiety and or depression or a mental health issue of some type, that there is a community here to help you. We have the QR code on the screen right now if you want to scan to go into my ASMR personal YouTube mental health channel, where I will discuss my mental health and things that I've been able to use to get myself through the tough times. And if you need to get through it too, well, I'm here for you. And we are building a community of concerned, like-minded individuals who want to help out each other, because we need to help out each other in times like that. So if you want to, I'll be on this evening at 9:30 on my Polly's World 2005, I think is my YouTube channel. I don't know. You'd have to scan it and tell me. I honestly don't remember. I just click it and there it is. But if you want to join in for the chat, it's at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and I'll talk about what I'm going through and how to keep moving forward.
All right. Mr. Grizzly, please roll them credits.
You are listening to North Eager Beaver Media Podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Miss V Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community and forum, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from fresh farm ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
All right. Little Easter egg, a little bit of a dump. Couple things that you need to know, because we did a whole different thing. Trump's big announcement on Monday that was everything that was going to exonerate him. He canceled that. Apparently, he canceled it while we were doing the show talking about it. R.I.P. Rest in peace to Robbie Robertson, legendary Canadian artist from the band, and also had a solo career, who passed away at his home in Los Angeles. And to Hugh Segal, former senator and champion for UBI, often referred to as a happy warrior. Hopefully we'll be able to talk a little bit more about him in another show or something, to give him credit that he was due. U.S. Open qualifications start today, so good luck to Gabriel Diallo, Eugenie Bouchard, Vasek Pospisil, and all the Canadians out there. And Trump has been had to pay $200,000 bail out in Georgia, and had a whole bunch of conditions put on him, including certain conditions just applied only to him, not to any of the other defendants, with regard to his use of internet to intimidate people.
I have to read this to you. I got to read this to you. This is very short and sweet. The Big Weekend Show, which is a Fox News program. Last night, was it last night? I guess no, it was Sunday evening. Sorry, Sunday evening. The host, Kennedy, I don't know who the host is. I don't watch Fox News. The big story tonight: the wrath of Tropical Storm Hillary. 42 million desperate souls in the path of the storm, which made landfall in Mexico several hours ago. But they let it right into the country because it's Biden's America.
Is that somebody named Kennedy?
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be
She comes from MTV. Yeah, she became a famous through MTV.
No. I don't think it's that
not
person.
That Kennedy?
No, I know who you mean.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know who this person is. I think it's a different person. But I get that that's supposed to be satire, but there's a lot of their viewers that will think it's real. So it's irresponsible. It's irresponsible to say something like that on a news program. We know that's not news.
Yeah.
We know it's not
Yeah.
news. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
All right. Bye.